All right, today we are going to learn about surface area. Let me remind you about the assignments from earlier this week, from the 2nd and the 4th of April, the 3D Net recording sheet with the front and back, and the cross-sections practice, just the front. Those two assignments are due. We did have an extra credit assignment we talked about working on yesterday, if you had time, but some of us were doing retakes. So if you did a retake and you didn't finish it, you need to make sure you come in and finish it in tutoring or maybe in class. But we are moving on through this unit, and we will next week take a quiz on the stuff we've been learning. So what have we learned so far? Nets, vertices, edges, faces. We've learned about cross sections and rotating the cross sections around. And today we're going to bust into some surface area. All right? And we're only looking at certain surface areas today for prisms and cylinders. And then next time we're going to talk about pyramids and cones. But let's take a look at this. I don't know if you know what surface area is. What do you think surface area is? Who's got an idea? So surface sounds like it's on the surface, right? So the outside, by the way, looking nice today, right? Because you're not wearing an eagle shirt, that's why. All right, so, but anyways, surface implies that it's on the surface, right? So how would I say that about these 3D figures, these solids? Well, it's all the faces or any of the curved surfaces, right? So I take those surfaces and I'm finding the area, right? So basically all the surfaces, add up all those surfaces and you get the surface area. There's two different types, okay? So first one is lateral surface area. Sometimes we'll call it LSA, okay? Lateral surface area, okay? So if you look right here, where your rib cage is, kind of near the back, these are called your lats, right? Some of y'all athletes might work out by doing these lat pulls, right? You get these big old, they call them wings, these big old muscles right here, okay? So lateral, just like your lats, are on the sides only, right? If you got lats on your head, that's weird. Okay, so lats are only on the side. So lateral surface area is only on the sides, which means no bases. You can write that down, please. Lateral surface area is only on the sides. It does not include the bases, okay? Take a wild guess. What do you think total surface area includes? The surface area of not only the lateral, but also the top and bottom, the bases, okay? So total is total, okay? Now, usually we just say SA or TSA for total surface area, right? But it's going to be total. It's going to be all. It's going to include bases. I'm running out of room. Notice how I put the bases in parentheses. Sometimes there's only one base when we talk about a pyramid or a cone, right? But anyways, lateral surface area, no bases. Total surface area does include the bases. Now all that is just background information, but you need to know these formulas. So let me help you out here. The lateral surface area of a prism or a cylinder is pH. pH. It's like chemistry up in here. Now, P, what do you think P stands for? Please prevent Miss Morero from giving you the answers. 30 teenage students. Not prism. But since we're finding surface area, it might have been in our area unit. Perimeter. Thank you so much. Perimeter. So P for perimeter. And then H, take a wild, wild guess. What could that be? All at once now. Height. Thank you so much. So perimeter and height. Now, here's the problem. Perimeter of what? So let me tell you. Perimeter of the base. So you have to be able to tell me what's the base, and then tell me the perimeter of it, and then multiply the perimeter times the height. So for lateral surface area, PH. P times H, right? What about total surface area? Okay? For total surface area, it's going to still be PH, but it's going to be plus 2B. Now, big B. This is what makes surface area so hard, is that people don't know what big B is. Probably because they're distracted during the notes. But I want you to know what big B is. Okay? So, what do you think big B stands for? I heard base, which is half right. Little b would just be base length. But big B means area of the base. Can we write that down? Area of the base. That means we'll have to use an area formula when we're finding big B. Okay? So, our job is going to be to find P and H and B when we're doing these. Then all we have to do is multiply, and we'll get our answers and add them up. Okay? So let's look at example 1 here. First thing I need to find is the P perimeter of the base. Okay? What is the base shape? Yeah, it's shaded here. It's shaded on yours, right? So this base right here, the perimeter, is adding up all 4 sides. They're all 5, right? 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Or 5 times 4. What's the perimeter going to equal? 20. I got one person answering. Everyone wake up. P equals 20. What about H? Now the height of the whole prism. So between the bases, what's the length that I got right there? 15, right? So that's our height of the whole prism. So now that I have P and H, how do I find lateral surface area? P times H. That's it. So let's do that. For LSA, lateral surface area, it's going to be PH, right? So 20 times 15. What is 20 times 15? 300. Usually we would have units. Whatever the units are, they're units squared because we're talking about area, right? Area. Now, that's cool. We got our lateral surface area is 300. So that means when we do total surface area, we already got pH, right? Does everyone agree pH is already 300? We already got half of what we need for total, right? All I need to know now is 2B, big B. Now, pop quiz. What does big B stand for again? Area of the base. So how do I find the area of a square or any rectangle? Not atom. We multiply. So we're going back in time to area formulas. It's length times width, right? So big B, area of a square, length times width is 5 times 5, right? Because both length and width are 5. 5 times 5 gives me 25. So big B is 25. So now what I got to do is I'm going to take my formula for TSA. So it's pH plus 2 big B, right? Now what did pH equal over here? What was pH over here? 300. So it's really going to be 300 plus 2 times big B, which is 25. Right? So 2 times 25 is what? 50. So I got 300 plus 50. So my total surface area is 350 units squared. So the formula has 2B, right? 2 times B. 2 times B, which we said was 25. So 2 times 25 gave me the 50, 300 plus 50. All right. Let's look at example 2. All right, so this is a right triangle, right? For lateral surface area, I need to find the perimeter and the height again. Now we got a little teeny tiny problem here. P is perimeter of the base. What shape is the base? A triangle. Do I know every side of that triangle? I know 3, I know 4, and I got a missing side. Now this is technically a Pythagorean triple, which you may or may not be aware of, but either way, we know how to use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out the missing side. And if you forgot, look right here, because you need to get used to using Pythagorean theorem. Never forget, because we are using it this unit, okay? So remember, a squared, b squared, c squared, right? So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. 3 squared and 4 squared, what are those two numbers? 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. We are multiplying. And then 9 plus 16? 25 equals x squared. What's my last step to get rid of that squared? No, not divide. Square root. All right, so square root of 25 gives me 5. So this side length over here is 5. So now I can figure out the perimeter. Okay, so do you see how if you have a missing side of a right triangle, you still need to remember Pythagorean theorem. So let's add up these three sides. 3 plus 4 plus 5. What's that perimeter going to be? 12. Thank you. So the perimeter, big P, perimeter of the base is 12. What's the height of the whole prism? It's also 12. All right, so LSA, lateral surface area, is going to be no big deal. PH. 12 times 12, right? Because that's my P, that's my H. They coincidentally are the same. What's 12 times 12? 144, because we're multiplying, right? So, and we would get units squared, right? So we got our lateral surface area, PH, yay. But now we got to figure out big old B. Now this was a struggle for some of us when we did area. The base is a triangle. How do I find the area of a triangle? What's the formula? Yep. Base times height divided by 2. Okay? Now if you're kind of like, wait, what were those formulas again? I got you. We'll have formula charts, right? Let's try to recall this. For a triangle, the base shape down here, it's going to be little b times h over 2. So it's base So little b is the base of the triangle. So look down here. Base of this triangle is 3. Height of this triangle is 4. So for the triangle's base times height, 3 times 4, divided by 2. So is everyone seeing the difference between a big B, area of the base, and a little b, base of the base shape? I know there's more than one b. It can kind of be confusing. 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2 gives me 6. Okay? So big B is 6. So now I'm going to use my TSA, total surface area formula, which is pH plus 2B, big old B. Now, don't we already know pH from over here? Right? So for the total surface area, I have 144 plus 2 times big B. What's big B again? 6. So 2 times 6 is 12, right? So I'm basically doing 144 plus 12. What does that give me? 156 units squared. Okay? Hard. All right, so I'll leave example 3 for you to try here in a minute, but let's flip it over. We want to get to cylinders. Okay? So right here I'm going to put on your own. We'll come back to this. On the back, now cylinders. We are about to jump into some stuff that we haven't talked about yet this year, but I hope you've talked about circles before. Do y'all know what pi is? What's pi? Delicious? Okay, 3.14. It's a irrational number. It's the ratio of a circumference over a diameter. All right. So let's do this. So write this down. We are about to be writing this pi number, okay? So pi is how we say it. That's how you write it. Pi equals about 3.14, but we are going to be using the pi button on our calculator when we do this because it's more precise than 3.14 because the numbers keep going forever and ever and ever and ever, okay? So notice here for lateral surface area, 2 times pi times r. What do you think r stands for in a circle? Radius. Now, in case you forgot, radius is halfway across a circle, right? The whole way is a diameter, halfway is a radius. Just hopefully that's old news to you. H is obviously still the height of the prism, or sorry, the cylinder. All right. Now, you're going to have to write small here. So for the total surface area, you're still going to have 2 pi rh, the lateral surface area, plus 2 pi r squared. It looks like a lot, but there's only 2 things you need to know: radius and height. If you can find radius and height, you're just plugging stuff in, okay? So, let's try this. Example 1. What is my radius? 4. Easy. What is my height? Of the whole cylinder on the side there, it's 10. Now that's all I need to find everything. Okay? Let's write it out. LSA, lateral surface area, is 2 pi RH. Now I'm going to use parentheses so I know I'm multiplying this all, right? So it's really going to be 2 times pi times 4 times 10. So in your calculator, you can just type 2 times pi times 4 times 10. Now if you're still writing, hold your horses because I want to show you where pi is. So look at your calculator. I go to a new document and I don't save. Whoa. New document, don't save. Calculator. Okay, let's say I do 2 times and I'm ready for pi. Now, where is the pi button? So down at the bottom left, next to H, is all your special characters. So you got to press another button. You press pi, but then you got to actually press pi again, and there it is. Okay. Now, technically, if you type 3.14, you're going to get a very close answer, but this is going to give you the best answer. So I would highly suggest you use the pi button for pi. So 2 times pi times 4 times 10 times 4 times 10. Ta-da! There's your answer. Okay? We're going to round 2 decimal places. So that means you look at the 3rd decimal place and round. So the 327, the 7 makes the 2 go up. So I'm going to write 251.33. And that would be in units squared because it's area, surface area. Okay? All right. Now, for total surface area. Write small, I guess, because not a lot of room. Don't we already know the first half, 2 pi RH? We just did that, right? So this goes right there. So 251.33 plus 2 pi 4 squared, right? Because we know R is 4. We're just plugging it in. So, let's go to our calculator. We're going to take what we already had, and we're going to add 2 pi 4 squared. So, all I'm going to do is hit the plus sign. 2 pi times 4. And y'all know the squared button's right next to that 4? 2 pi 4 squared. That gave me 351.86, right? We round. 351.86. Units squared. Okay. So, again, if you know R and H, life's easy. Type it in. Boom. However, look at this one. The only difference is what? It's on its side, right? So this one could be on your own. It's the same dang thing. I believe you can do it. Now let me do a quick, just off to the side here. Okay, if you saw it something like this, a cylinder looking like this, what would your R be? In this one I drew right here, your R would be 5, right? So sometimes they give you the diameter, and you have to cut it in half to get the radius, okay? So again, this is just Mr. G's random example, off to the side. I just want you to be careful. If you get the radius wrong, you get everything wrong, okay? So just be careful. All right, so without further ado, I'll let you get started on our practice. You're basically going to be doing 2 of each. Well, actually you're doing... So make sure you name the solid, give me the lateral surface area and the total surface area, just like we did on here.